So this is an English lesson plan that involves food. You can modify this to any textbook or lesson that uses food as the main theme. One of the focuses of this lesson is to use the verb have to describe what they have for lunch. And this is one of the last parts of this unit where I have students make a speech about what their ideal lunch is. The first part is I have the students think about what is an ideal lunch. Especially younger students, they probably would only think about the taste of the food. So if you do not ask them what do they think about when they decide what to eat, many students would probably choose cake, ice cream, hamburgers, potato chips, a lot of junk food. I don't think that's interesting for this lesson. So this is one thing you can do, is using a diamond graph. You can describe a couple of factors about what students should think about when deciding food. At the very top, I have taste. On the left side, nutrition. At the bottom, price. And on the right side, appearance. It's up to you which factors you want to have students think about. Of course, everything can be done in Japanese as well. Students using a shared card, which is a new feature on Loyal Note, put their own name closest to where they think is the most important factors of deciding what to eat. If students mainly think taste is the most important factor, they can put their name closest to taste. Whereas if students think that both price and nutrition are very important factors, they can put their name between the two. Or if they think all factors are equally important, they can put their name directly in the middle. If you have time, students can present or explain to the class about why they put their name in the position that they did. This exercise will help when deciding what they want to make for their ideal lunch, and explains to students that, especially younger students, that an ideal lunch isn't necessarily the most delicious lunch. This is the second part of the lesson, which is making their speech. Students follow the teacher's example and write a speech about their ideal lunch. Students add pictures of the food onto the tray template, and these pictures they can find on the internet, take screenshots, or if you have played a previous game using picture cards of foods like this one, students can use those cards to add to their speech. Here's what the teacher's example looks like. You can modify the speech to use whatever English expressions that they are currently learning. Students follow this example and write their own original speech. After, students can submit the cards to have it checked by the teacher for any spelling errors or grammar errors. After they receive corrections, students write a good copy of their speech. This is the third part of the lesson, which is practicing and presenting their speech. First, the teacher explains the evaluation criteria. Depending on your lesson or your school, you can create an evaluation of your choice. This is just one example. After explaining the speech criteria, students can practice their presentation in pairs or groups. After they finish practicing, each student presents their speech. The students listening will use a survey to choose their best 3 choices. This is just an example, but each student's name is written onto this survey. And at the end of all the speeches, each student will choose what they thought were the best 3 students. At the end of all the speeches, you can decide to show the results to the students. The fourth and last part of this lesson is comments and self-evaluation. First, each student evaluates their own speech using the same evaluation card as the teacher did. Next, each student will give a comment to each of their top 3 choices that they chose during the survey. These comments can be done in Japanese as well. Finally, the teacher can give access to the students to send these comments directly to the presenter, or the teacher can collect them and share them with the entire class. Students can use these comments to improve their ability to give presentations or speeches for future lessons.